Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Moonray. I'll uh I'll give the chat a little bit to catch up and give some people a chance to get in here. This is the elephant in the room that everyone wants to talk about. Yet nobody's really talking about it. I mean, like your mainstream media is, but nobody on YouTube is talking about it. Um, they're kind of making some community posts here and there, trying to feel it out, see if it's safe. Like, is it safe to talk about this? Is it safe? You know, yeah, fuck yeah, it's safe. Everything that we talk about here is safe to talk about. Make no mistake about that. That's my personal opinion. Everything that we talk about here is safe to talk about. We all have opinions on this. But my theory is that the reason why it doesn't feel like it's safe to talk about is because we're afraid that certain people that we respect and love will change their opinions of us based on our opinions. We're afraid that people will see us for our real beliefs, because God forbid your relationships on social media are based on the things that you really believe in, because that shit's not couth anymore. You can't do that anymore, by the way. If you post political opinions on your social media, well, then that's not okay. Ugh. You're missing the point of social media. Is it? Is it missing the point? Because we should feel comfortable saying whatever we want. When it comes to the First Amendment, I truly believe that we should all feel comfortable in saying whatever we want and let the problem be the problem of the person who is offended by it. That's their problem. It's not mine. It's not mine. That's truly how I believe. It's truly what I believe. It's truly how I live my life. I think I've proven that with this channel. No, I do. Cherry's making a good point. She's saying, you troll me for being a liberal. I do. I troll liberals. I'm not. I think it's okay for you to be a liberal, as far as like the First Amendment goes. Sure. But that's the irony, isn't it? Isn't the irony, and it's arguable, but here I am talking about how great it is to be an American and how you should feel free to say whatever you want and not worry about how anybody reacts. But it's usually liberals, right? It's usually liberals who get offended and are trying to take away your right. Okay. Now, this is undeniable. It's undeniable, right? But Cherry's one of my favorite people in the world, and she's super liberal. She's one of my favorite people in the whole world. But she's not a fucking asshole about it. You know what I mean? She's not a fucking asshole about it. I'm kind of an asshole about being more or less libertarian. Okay, I'm gonna get into this because I know what I titled this. I know what I titled this, and I'm going to stick with the subject of the title. So if you put me in a room, you put me in a room with a woman, okay? This is my opinion on this recent Supreme Court decision on, the issue of choice, the issue of abortion, because that's what these are. That's what these are. There's no mistaking that. If you put me in a room with a woman, okay, she could be a conservative woman, she could be a liberal woman. I'm going to, if you ask me what my position is on this, I'm going to go, what does she say? This is a fact, people. Okay. I am, and I'm gonna be 100% transparent here. I am pro-choice, but I'm going to explain to you why I'm pro-choice. Okay, I am pro-choice. And the reason why I'm pro-choice is because I have never been or have ever experienced what it is like to be a woman. Therefore, if I were a male lawmaker, I don't think that male lawmaker has any say, morally speaking, over what a woman should do with her body. That is how I've always felt. That is how I still feel. The reason why I feel this way, okay, it's like I said, if a conservative woman was sitting in a room with me right now asking me what my position is, and she thought that abortion was murder, right? Abortion is murder. That's the big, right? The whole screaming thing. So since abortion is murder, but a woman in the room feels that way, I'm siding with that woman. Do you understand? I'm not siding with what she's saying. I'm saying I don't know. I've never carried a child in my womb. I've never done that. I don't know what that's like. I have no idea. I have no idea how to even begin to relate to you in that physical sense. Therefore, whatever you tell me right now is valid. Whatever you tell me is what direction I'm going, because I am not a woman, man. I don't have that luxury of being able to carry a child in my womb. I don't have that. I've never had that. I never will have that. That's never going to change. So therefore, whatever that woman in the room feels about abortion, I'm siding with. But by default, logic dictates I have to be pro-choice, because I am choosing to side with that woman's choice. Whether she be a conservative who believes that abortion is murder, or if she believes herself to be someone who just thinks that a fetus doesn't have any brain activity, blah, 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 all that shit that people say. I don't know anything about. I'm not dismissing it, as if it's nonsense, because I don't know. I'm not an educated guy. I'm a layman. I'm just somebody who lives within our society. That's who I am. I'm nobody. But I'm a vote, right? You know what I mean? But what's really sad is that the left and the right have gotten so fucking insane that I can't vote on either side. So therefore, they're losing my voice. And I think that the majority of people here in this chat can see that I am a voice of logic. How many voices of logic feel like there's too much going on to the right, too much going on to the left, until you give me a third choice, well, you don't have my vote. Give me somebody who cares. Give me somebody who matters. That's who I'll vote for. I support you, Moonray. I do. I support you. Your body, your choice. And it's it's also your mind and your choice. If you believe that that aborting a child is murder and you're a woman, I support that just the same. Just the same. I am nobody to have any say over laws passed over what you do with your bodies. I am nobody in that sense. I am a man. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. It's it's crazy because people are just like, oh my God, this is like the end of women's rights as we know it. Oh my God. No, it's not. Like, this is it's a federal thing. All it means is that the federal government has less power over the situation than your state governments. We're the United States of America. There's 50 of us. And then, whatever else Bullhorn Betty said. You know what I mean? Like, there's 50 of us. You know what I mean? Like you can live where you want. Is it a big deal? Sure. Of course it is. I'm not trying to minimize this thing that just happened. I'm not trying to minimize that. I get it. It's like, shit, this is a real shot in the gut for sure. For pro-choice people, this is a shot in the gut for sure. But I mean, it's not the killing shot. Not even. Men are already made to do DNA tests. Hyperporium. I'll never forget that. Like when I had to file for custody of my son, uh, fathers have only so many rights, and that's fine. I mean, history teaches us that a maternal mother is the best possible thing for a child, statistically speaking, anyway, right? But I the judge is like, well, yeah, you gotta, you have to prove, if you're gonna file for custody, you have to prove maternity, right? Okay. So we go to the DNA lab or whatever, and me and my son have that. We have that little banter, and I'm looking at it, and he's just like, "Dad, what does it say? What does it say?" I'm sorry, son. Apparently, there's only a 99.9999999% chance that you're biologically mine. Kid, like, kid practically slapped me upside my head. He was just like, it's funny. It's funny. But yeah, you have to establish all that, and it's whatever, man. That's not even the point. The point is like, you know, there's arguments all over the table, right? You have the one argument. Okay, well, you know what? Now, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to quit letting losers blow their load inside you. Don't do that anymore. Leave that alone. Make better choices with who you sleep with. And I'm not saying don't be a slut. Be a slut. That's great. That's great. Sex is fun. Nobody's telling you not to be and I'm not trying to demean anybody by calling them a slut. I'm saying if you want to be a sexually promiscuous person, man or woman, doesn't matter. If you want to be this, be that. Just choose your partners more carefully. Or just be like, you know what? If I'm going to get knocked up, I'm going to get knocked up. Responsibility. Now, that's the right way of looking at things. Or I'm sorry, the right side way of looking at things. The right being red. Or more people can become educated out of this, right? More people with a medical frame of mind can see that this is an injustice, and they'll work on finding sanitary behind the curtains procedures to make sure that this can still go on in a safe manner. Right? I mean, two sides to every coin, people. Two sides to every coin. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Rape, incest, those things still happen. Absolutely, Margot. You're absolutely right. But my stance on this is truly neutral. As far as women go, I side with women on this. Truth is, I could give a fuck what a man's opinion is on this. I don't care. I do not care what a man's opinion is on this. A man that I have looked up to my entire life as a father figure could tell me all they want to hear, all they want to tell me on this, and I'll be like, yeah, none of that holds any water at all. No man should have any say over what a woman does with her body. Not when it comes to things that women experience and men don't, right? So there are certain things, okay, yeah, murder, no, you can't just kill people, okay? Circumstances that a man can relate to just as equally as a woman, no. They don't get special treatment because they're women, no. But when it comes to carrying a womb in their body, well, there's a little bit of a difference there. Men don't get to say what happens in that situation. I don't personally believe that. Holy shit, I've only been live for 20 minutes. God damn, this is some fucking nerve-wracking shit, man. Let me tell you guys. This is really, really nerve-wracking. Now, okay, listen, I'm not. Hold on, let me adjust this comment. And I love the real lady justice. Like, okay, amen. Men have no right to dictate what women do with their bodies unless they want their rights restricted. This is a basic human rights issue for the living. I cannot disagree with that. I am not a woman. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it's like to carry a child in my body. I can't even fucking imagine it in theory. Okay? It's crazy. And I'm a father. And I know, listen, you know, I know there's a lot of talk about, what kind of father I was. I was very transparent on somebody's interview and all that shit. But let me tell you something, man. My son being born was the best thing that I've ever experienced to date. Finding out that he was on his way, all of that, like, that was the best shit in the world. And it was crazy. Even then, I remember, even then, I found myself in a position to where I had to respect my ex's wishes. And I prepared myself mentally for that. I pushed to have him, but I prepared myself mentally for, you know, she may not want to have this child. I knew she was pregnant before she did. I've told this story more than once, but I remember she was just acting different. And I just looked at her and I was just like, "You're pregnant. There's a baby inside you right now." And she looked at me like I was crazy. She called me crazy, blah, blah, blah. I went to the store. I bought, like 5 or 6 different, pregnancy tests. They all came back positive. Then we made a doctor's appointment and, that was it. And like her pregnancy with him and him as a baby and everything, like he wouldn't even take her breast milk, you know. It wasn't till I held him while I was in the hospital after he was delivered. I held him and I put the bottle in his mouth, and he would just, every time I fed this kid, he would look me in the eyes, and he would just doze off. He would fall asleep looking me dead in the eyes, never taking his eyes off me. Never ever taking his eyes off me. I'll never forget that. But I do remember feeling like it was her choice. I've never carried a child for 9 months. I've never, yeah, it was her choice. It was her choice. Always. And I don't respect her at all. this is this is somebody who's made my life totally miserable as much as she possibly can. And yet when I'm thinking about it, like, I do not regret for 1 second, not even 1 millimeter of a second, do I regret feeling like it was her choice. Like, some fraction of him would have always been in my heart, no matter what. No matter what. I knew he was there before she did. I knew he was there before she did. That's undeniable. So, but I'm grateful, that it didn't work out like that. I'm grateful, but I don't regret feeling like it was her choice. And nobody's ever going to convince me otherwise. Ever. Ever. Oh, man. I probably should have not got this personal. Let me look over the chat here. Get my mind back on track here. I mean, I don't know, man. Because you got the conservatives with this abortion thing, and then you got the liberals with the gun thing, and I'm really against you both. And I'm talking to fucking conservatives and liberals, like in my chat right now. Like, seriously. Like, I'm neither one, just so you know. I'm not. If you haven't gotten anything out of this live stream, I'm fucking neither one of you. I cannot relate to either one of your sides. I can't do it. Drives me crazy. But like, I mean, as absurd, I'm sorry, but as absurd as it is for people who don't have the fucking balls to hold a gun and teach themselves trigger discipline, right? And they get to make laws over guns, as much as fucking as asinine as that is, right? Like, it's just as crazy that men get to make laws over what women do with their bodies, man. And the fact that you guys like see it one way or the other, and instead of looking at that like it, these waters have kind of like bled into each other. You know what I mean? They have. You just want to act like they haven't, because either you listen to Fox News or you listen to CNN. But these things have all bled into each other, man. And you got to start thinking logically. It's now the part where you realize that nobody who you have depended on to think for you is capable of doing so anymore. So now you have to start thinking for yourself, but you're too afraid to do that. And I don't know why that is. I can't relate to that, especially people who like graduated college and shit. I'm just a fucking moron on YouTube, dude. And yet that is the most logical thing for me. That's the most logical conclusion to come to. It really is. Like, fuck the laws, man. You know what I mean? Fuck the laws. We have morals. We're people with convictions on how we conduct ourselves, right? Yeah, okay. So you can't roll up into a doctor's office anymore in a red state. Okay, that sucks. Sure. But guess what? How many doctors are now on the same side as you guys are, because they're logical people? And they're just going to do what the right thing is to do. So has there really been this big a difference? Now, okay, let me correct myself here, because I some of you guys are like, what the fuck, Lair? How the fuck can you say that right now? The Supreme Court ruled. Okay, yeah, I got that. But what that does, it does not give you just the platform to complain. It gives you the platform to make a difference, to step up. Encourage doctors to do the right thing. Encourage the professions, the heart of the matter. Because the heart of the matter is what? People being able to choose what to do with their bodies and not have to resort to using a coat hanger in the bathroom, right? I'm not saying that to be crass. I'm just being realistic. That's the choice, right? Okay. So now the ball is in your court. You believe in something so much, get shit done. Get it done. I'm not saying that I agree with the decision. What I'm saying is it doesn't matter whether you agree with the decision or not. It matters on what you do with it. You live in a country of the people, by the people, for the people. You live in that country. You are that power. Take the next step. And no, the next step isn't bombing a fucking, doctor's office that doesn't support abortion. That's not the next step. The next step is building. The next step is building and educating, getting shit done. Because I'm with you. I agree with you. I do. I agree with you 100%. See, D homies, I ain't wearing no black on 4th. I mean, I wear black anyway, but on 4th of July, man, I'm celebrating the birth of my nation, man. I'm celebrating when we beat those fucking limeys back in 1776. We signed our Declaration of Independence. We said this is how it's going to be. The idea behind that is beautiful, man. It really is. It's beautiful. I know. These were white fucking racist assholes who owned slaves and blah, blah, blah. Yes, they were. They were. Because that was the norm, unfortunately. But I'm not trying to celebrate them. I'm trying to celebrate the idea. Even if they were hypocrites, who gives a shit if they were hypocrites? Who cares if they were hypocrites? The idea of a free America where everybody is equal and nobody is judged. That is what matters. That's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. All men and women are created equal. All of us. Well, you think some government's going to come along and fucking enforce that? Or do you think you, as an individual, are going to be able to like contribute to that? You being an individual that happens to be part of an army that just hasn't realized that they're an army yet. It's dope, dude. It's dope. The whole idea to me is dope as fuck. The idea of America is we're going to do whatever the fuck we want. Leave us alone. We'll work it out ourselves. Back the fuck off. Wow, you guys in the chat are on fire right now. Just looking at all your comments, right? Right. I mean, I think that's unfair, though, Maria Wilcox. I mean, I see what you're saying, and in respect to your comment, because I get what you're saying. You're saying your personal feeling is don't have sex, then abort a baby. Okay, uh, you know, um, there are all kinds of different, what you're not understanding is, see, that perspective right there, what that does is that boils down to abortion just being one particular scenario, and that's it. Where there are all kinds of different scenarios why somebody, why a woman may not want to go through a childbirth and subject a child to this world. You have no idea of one person's personal feelings as to why they choose not to procreate and add another person to the world. Dude, the thing is what we have to understand, this is what's really really complicated, is you know, we're all so fucking self-centered that we forget to realize the one thing that we all have in common, and that is the thing that makes us absolutely self-centered, and that is that we have a whole universe in each of our minds. I have this whole universe in my mind that none of you motherfuckers can ever begin to relate to. Just like each and every one of you individually has an incredible mind full of imagination, full of possibilities. And they are all possibilities. But we don't think about that fact. We just think about our own universe and our own possibilities. And then we relate everything to that. Right? But you don't know. You don't know what that other person's going through. You don't know why they had sex with somebody. You don't know the circumstances of why they looked somebody in the eyes at one point and then at the last point ended up pregnant. You don't know. There's there's an infinite story behind that. Infinite in the sense that I mean, like, there's all kinds of different directions that it could go and yet still end up in the same result. Somebody makes eye contact with somebody, God knows what happened in those 2 hours in between where that person ended up pregnant with a child. You don't know. You don't know. And I honestly think that this you know, overturn of Roe versus Wade is made by a bunch of people who just can't think outside of their own box. They can't empathize. They can't relate. They don't understand. Personally, that's how I feel. That's my opinion. I understand if you disagree. That's okay. Your disagreements are welcome here. Hmm. That's an interesting perspective. Risky opinions. Uh, the overturning of Roe versus Wade will promote safe sex and people taking responsibility of their own choices. In theory, you're correct. In theory, you're correct. But history dictates that you're incorrect. Sorry. History dictates this. I mean, you can go back to the Bible if you want, right? I'm guessing you're probably a Bible goer, right? You can go back to David and Bathsheba. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, if a king whose son turned out to be the wisest king in history, biblically speaking, right? Solomon, David's son, this King David who births his heir Solomon to be the wisest king, yet is conceived in sin, in uh, no assurance. Come on, man. Let's just be real here. You're talking about human nature that's just not going to change. Let me get into another subject here. It's going to make some people really mad. This is going to make some people mad. Let me get into the subject of population, right? I mean, so these green people, right? These green people, you know, they're on to something. Like the hyper green people, they're on to something, because the fact of the matter is you eliminate procreation and you're going to significantly cut down the damage to the planet. Because it's not like, okay, you could look at it like, okay, well, a car's exhaust is really bad for the ozone layer. It's really bad for the environment. Sure, you're right. But who's developing cars? Human beings. Human beings are littering. Human beings are basically causing all of the pollution to the planet. Literally all of the pollution to the planet. So the question boils down to is, should we stop fucking? Should we stop fucking? Right? I mean, so green people should just stop fucking. That's what I'm saying. I think all you people that go green, y'all are the biggest hypocrites in the world if you guys have unprotected sex or are not fixed. Get your tubes tied, get your vasectomies, soy boys, snip them. Do it. Or shut the fuck up. Or there's cherry solution. There's definitely cherry solution. Yeah. So yeah, I'm pro-choice. I'm huh. Yeah. I love you guys. We'll do this again soon.